12 days ago, and it's already under contract as of yesterday. So I am so excited. And a buyer I had been working with for a while, he has wrote up his contract in Ryan Ridge.
I love that. Hey, tell everybody how you got that listing.
Well, I moved from a neighborhood to the country, and this is my former neighbor, and the tenants that were there, he would rent it occasionally as well. So the tenant, I saw him moving out. He moved back to his hometown in Florida. So I called the owner, and I was like, oh, Jacob, I know you know what's going on in the market right now. He was like, yes, Vicki. I said, so I know you're ready to list. He was like, yes. I was like, let's get it done. Sent him the paperwork. He signed, and yesterday was 12 days, and it's under contract.
I love that. See,
yes,
guys?
Yes.
We don't just talk about this stuff in theory.
Mm-mm.
All right. Who else has something good to share? Tiffany, I'm going to pick on you because I can see you.
All right, guys. Sorry, my jaw's a little swollen from getting my wisdom tooth pulled.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. Let's see. So something good. I have a buyer who she reached out to me back in October. She wanted to buy a house. She has children, and she just wanted, she wanted to be a homeowner. She wanted her children to have the backyard experience, but at the time, she just wasn't quite ready. So we sent her to a lender. She found out that she wasn't quite ready right now, but she had a game plan, and we followed up. We worked that game plan, and she finally got her pre-approval, and she found the house. We went out, found the house, and writing up the contract today. So,
yay!
Right for her, yeah.
Oh, Tiffany.
I love that so much. Well, I have something good to share about the Market Center. July was our best month ever. Record-breaking in 10 years. Best month ever. We also, you guys have seen the post where we were actually #1 in our region for net agent count in the second quarter of 2020. So 2020 has nothing on us, and I cannot wait to see you guys continue to crush your goals. We're just gonna keep our foot to the pedal and just do big things. So,
hey, Katie.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Maria. Sorry to interrupt. I'm on mute because I'm in the kitchen cooking, so I know you don't want to hear the pots and pans roar.
Okay.
But as far as to participate quickly, and then I'm gonna go back to mute. Something good. Of course, I had a couple things on the contract the last 6 weeks, but I got several good new leads that I'm hoping to turn into paper before the quarter ends in November 15th.
I love
so that was exciting, even though I have something already going to the table on the 15th of September and all that stuff. But it was just also rejuvenating to know I had gotten a couple new leads that someone is interested that I can try to make happen, that I will make happen or should make happen before November 15th.
There is no try, Bernadette. You got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Good job. Love to hear all those good things. So today we're starting our Think Bigger series, and in doing so, our very first special guest is Jennie Wolek. Jennie, if any of you guys have been on anything lately, social media, especially Pivot, Shift Ahead, you have seen Jennie, and she has been a huge part and contributor to that group, and we're excited to have her join us today. Jennie?
Wow, thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here. What an honor to get to share with you. I am, over all my years in the business, I've discovered that I really love most sharing and empowering and giving back to my agent community. So you can take my face down if you want, then that way I'll have to look at myself. That would be awesome. The other faces.
There you go. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. I don't know how you've been working through 2020. Isn't it interesting when we have a pandemic going on, business is still going, positivity still exists, and market centers are crushing it. So that's just how we've experienced it here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been in real estate for 19 years, and I have a small team here in Tulsa. Last year, there were 5 of us on the team, and we helped 145 families. This year, we're on track for our even thinking bigger goal of 185 families. You know, like we got to mid-year and we thought, well, should we adjust our goal? And we looked at where we've been, how we've been staying productive and connected as a team. And we got to stay essential all the way through. So there was really no excuse or reason for us to adjust. We just maybe needed to adjust our activities and our actions. So I guess, you know, I start with the question for you guys is everything I found over the years starts with our mindset. And how's your mindset? Have you been participating every morning in the Pivot Shift Ahead calls with my buddy James Shaw? That's a great way to do it. I'm on there at 7 a.m. my time every morning. That's why a lot of times you may not see my real face because I'm still doing my hair and putting on my makeup at times. And, you know, just starting our morning with gratitude and positivity can really go far. And I know you guys know that. So when all of this happened back in March, we decided real quick as a team here in Tulsa that we were just going to start, you know, we weren't going to go in the office, obviously, and we still have only been in the office one day together. And that one day was the day that our city started opening back up. And we thought, well, we'll try it out one time. We got to the office together. We had a meeting. Mindy, one of our agents came and hugged everyone, and everyone kind of freaking out like, what do we do? What do we do? And then the next day she sends a message and says, oh, by the way, a buyer I'd met with, even though we wore masks most of the time, was possibly exposed to COVID. So I said, well, never mind. We're going back to operating the way that we had, because you can't argue with results. If every morning we show up together as a team through Zoom, just like here on Gallery View, and we at 8:15 we share our gratitude and our goals for the day, and then we break, or also during that time we share the market stats. So you've heard this over and over again, we must be the economist of choice. And what that means is that when we are calling and connecting with our people, our database, when they ask the questions or they raise the objections of now's not a good time to buy or sell, we're really knowledgeable of what's happening in the market. We've got the great stories that Tiffany and Vicki just shared where you can say, you know, it makes sense that you would think the market's not great. And actually, yesterday, X number of new listings came on the market, and even more, usually you're going to see this, and even more went off the market, went under contract, went pending. And then this big number closed. So where you may think that what you're seeing on the news is scary, which it is, and it's not good. We need to be safe and healthy and protect ourselves. We also know that interest rates are historically low, and people who are on the market really do need to sell. So this could be a great opportunity for you. So being the economist of choice, having a positive, upbeat attitude is going to go so far during these days. The cool part about our company is that when all this hit, we got to have that freak out moment of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But then we got to remember quickly that we have the playbook on how to do business during a weird, wonky world, which is what we're in right now. And so we already had the 12 tactics. What I noticed immediately was that once I got out of the holy crap, sky is falling mode, I looked around and all of our local small businesses and restaurants immediately went into panic mode, right? They didn't know, they don't have a playbook on how to survive these days. And so that's something I did instantly was I already had it as part of our business plan to promote and give back to our local community. So I just said, wait a minute, I'm here at home. They're most likely at home. How is a way that I can share their story and their business with others so that they can stay afloat during these days? And so I just reached out to people that owned local businesses, restaurants, or nonprofits. And I said, hey, I love to give back to the community and promote local businesses. Are you up for doing a 3 to 5 minute Zoom? We'll do it through the computer. I'll record it. and then I'll share it on social media and with our network and our database. That way, maybe you can get some customers during these days. Maybe you can get a new client during these new challenging days. And I'd love for you just to share your story about, how you got into business and how you're, shifting during these new days. And I'll tell you what, within a month, I got over 50 business owners to do videos with me. If you guys want to go to Tulsa Looks Good on You, I have a Facebook page that I already had. It was just a public Facebook page with the whole intent. I'd made it over a year ago. The whole intent of that page was just to promote cool things happening around town. So a way not only of being a contributor and connector to your community of, knowing real estate, another way is promoting people who have businesses in your database. You probably have a plethora of friends and family members that you could reach out to and say, can I support you and promote your business? And you're going to instantly have people who say yes. Another way that we really stayed positive and productive during these last days was through our care calls. You guys have heard of the common phrase care call. Now that's just a part of our vocabulary. Now we can just change it from lead generation time block to care call time block, because that's really all we need to be sharing with people. Is we need to be checking in on them. How you doing? Are you staying safe and healthy? And that's where we get to have those conversations with them. Well, I've learned a long time ago that in order to have a big business, I must have a big database, and a database that is consistently marketed to, where I am touching on them and loving on them so that when they do think of real estate or need some assistance, they're going to think of us. So ways that we got to have some engagement and have fun was right away early on. Weren't all your restaurants shut down, and it was really rough times for the restaurant people. So I said, you know what, our normal event that we were supposed to have obviously is canceled. So we already had the vendor sponsor, one of our lender partners. We already had a date on the calendar when we were aiming for a client event. And I just called him up and I said, hey, the money you would have given for this event, would you be up for buying restaurant gift cards? And he said, absolutely. So we did what we call a reverse bold 100. Have you guys heard of the reverse bold 100 idea, where you have a giveaway that everybody wants to call in and win, and then it's on a certain day, and you attract people to call in. You get to have a conversation with them. You get to confirm all their contact information. And then we actually even asked for, hey, it's so great that you called. We'll get you in the contest. And by the way, if you can think of somebody who may need to buy or sell that we can reach out to, then we can put you in the drawing twice. And so now we're getting to ask for a referral. We're getting to add them to this contest. We're having fun. There's so many laughs and such a good time, that we got to have, with that first restaurant gift card giveaway, I think we had 65 people call in on one day, and we got, I think, 5 or 6 referrals. The most recent one that we did was that we did you guys have heard of a big green egg, those smoker grill things. Yeah. So those are very popular, by the way. And so we just had a medium-sized one. Again, we just asked our title rep, our insurance friend, and a home warranty rep. We said, hey, will you guys pitch in on helping pay for this? So the cost to the team, $0. So there's no need to worry about your P&L. And they pitched in for the giveaway. We had over 100 people call in, and we had 7 referrals. And so how much fun are you having with your community? You're getting engagement. You're having fun as a team if you have one. And this can be done as a solo agent too. It sounds overwhelming, but you just need to add in a couple little details. And I share a whole system. I have a Facebook group. I don't know if you guys know. I have a Facebook group that's just for real estate agents, and it's Your Journey with Jennie. And inside of my group, I share all the checklists and systems for all these kind of things so that you can make sure to master that. But I just know that during these days of COVID, how can we stay positive? How can we stay connected with our database? And I think it all even goes back to the really important thing. Besides our mindset, we got to understand our mission. Why are we doing this business? Why are we here? I mean, this is tough. Y'all, you get up and you call people that probably don't want to talk to you, and you're looking for people to help in a challenging world. And so this is a profession that you're paid in direct proportion to the service that you give and the showing up and the grit, because it is very easy to just not get out of bed. And you guys are obviously proving that you're not those kind of people. So what I found early on, I've been doing this for so long, you can imagine I've had burnout, I've had breakdowns, I got to where I hated people. Yep. And you're all nodding and smiling because you've been there. And when you get to that point in a people business, that's not a good place to be. And so I had to figure out, okay, I don't have a plan B. Like, I've been an entrepreneurial professional for all these years. I'm not going to go sit at a desk. Like, that's not going to happen. So I got to figure out how to make this work. And that's when I got really, really clear about understanding it's all about my database, and it's about the touches and the systematic consistency that we give to them. And it's a long game. I love y'all, and you want that magic pill. You want that new little toy that's going to give you all this business and huge success. And it takes time. It takes time. So you can't be discouraged. I always tease that I'm the tortoise versus the hare when it comes to my real estate business. I mean, 19 years is a very long time. I mean, that person has like graduated from high school. They're maybe a junior in college at this point. I mean, think how old a 19-year-old is. So I've had all these fail forwards that, and that is really why I love sharing with you guys, is that maybe that can fast forward some of your failures. But what I've discovered when I was having my extreme breakdowns was that I had to get really clear on who I was in my behavior style, in my person, and who I wanted to be, and what I wanted our business to stand for. You guys have heard of the unique value proposition. Like, we talk about this all the time, your UVP, what makes you different, what helps you stand out from the other agents. And quite honestly, I don't think I'm that special. Like, I don't think I have any extra skills or talents or reasons that someone should choose me. Well, that's not going to cut it. You got to kind of figure out something. So that's when I took bold 4 times in 1 year, back in the days when we traveled and we went to a classroom. Do you remember those days? It's been a while. And I took bold 4 times in a row. And I think that had a lot to do with getting my mindset right. And it really allowed me to discover that as a real estate business, we have an opportunity and an obligation to give back to our clients. We do that by way of giving them and delivering an amazing customer experience. We have an obligation to give back to our community because we are connected with the community, whether we want to admit it or not. I feel that we have a duty to contribute to local businesses and nonprofits and support others. And all of this it starts with our database, and then it grows out beyond there. So when I got real clear, and the change up in my business and the success really came from defining my database by knowing who were my true Mets. Do you guys remember in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller talks about your Mets and your unmets? The Mets are the people you've had a conversation with. They know who you are. Maybe they're a past client, a friend. Well, who are those people? Because I found that I was spending equal energy and time on all people when they didn't really deserve all of my energy and time or money. I was spending money on unmets that they don't even know who I am. They're never going to choose me. I'm never going to win them over. So let me be clear. Unmet people, they can stay in my database. They're just not going to get the same amount of focus and attention. Now they're still going to get emails from us. And that's how we've really noticed over the past 3-4 months of COVID. That's how we've gotten engagement from that unmet category, is because we've invited them to call in to win for the giveaways and drawing. And now we've talked to them, so we can now call them a Met because they've shared all their contact info with us. Maybe we just had an email before and they call in for a giveaway, and I say, hey, Tiffany, thanks for calling. And let me just confirm your name, your email, your home address, your phone number. Perfect. That's great. So now I'm capturing data. Now I'm building my database. Now they're going to get folded into the touches and the love of those who deserve it, because now they've proven that they do want to be a part of our world. So that's a way that you can continue to grow your database and love on them. It sounds overwhelming. It sounds like, where do I even start? Well, you start with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent on pages 133 through 149, and that's the lead generation model. So reread that, because that'll give you the mindset and the system for how you're going to do it. And then it may take you going through, whether it's Command or Brivity or Top Producer or your phone or an Excel spreadsheet, whatever your database is, it may take you going through every human and touching them. And what would your script be? I don't know, maybe a care call. You know, I was calling through people in our database that I was looking through the notes. We've never connected. So maybe they came in as a web lead or some random source. And I called, and this is my script. Hey, Vicki, it's Jennie Wolek with Keller Williams Realty. You know, you are in my database, which tells me we've had a conversation about real estate in the past. And actually, I'm just calling to see how you're doing. How are you getting through these new days? Are you staying safe and healthy? So I think the idea around that script was that I say who I am and I say how we would have been connected, but I'm not asking them for real estate. And it was so crazy because I said that, and this guy says, you know, we're doing really good. And wow, that's crazy you called, because we're thinking about now might be the time to sell. I mean,
Wow.
how energy was that for me to exert? I got in a contact. So if you're tracking your numbers, that counts. And it happened to be time. No, that's a random. We know that that doesn't happen every day. But think of the what ifs whenever you're choosing to not lead generate in the morning. I used to get so caught up in I'm bugging them. I don't want to bug them. And I would let my negative self-talk and my heart pound and the phone be so heavy, and that would hold me back. And then I would tell myself, I'm good at helping people. I'm nice. I can help them. And if I can't, then I can, oops, the phone got disconnected. I don't know. I mean, there's no reason for us to have this fear that we always do. I don't know why it is that we do it. We got into a business that requires us talking to people. And the number one thing real estate agents don't want to do is talk to people. Right? So I just wanted to share all these ideas with you guys of ways to focus on your database, know your mission, who am I and what matters. So maybe you've heard of The Promise. If you've taken Bold recently, you would have seen this rolled out by Tony Baroni, my friend in Tampa. He did a video about The Promise, and it had actually come from a guy named Mike Hicks. And the idea is that you share with your clients from the very beginning that we have a promise to you. Our promise is that we deliver such an amazing client experience that by the time that we're done working together, you're going to have such an amazing experience that you will just be so compelled to share our name with your friends and family or anybody that you come into contact with. So when you hear of somebody that needs some real estate help, will that be something that you can do? And they say, well, of course. I mean, when are people the nicest and easiest to get along with? In the beginning, right? At the buyer consultation, when they're excited to buy a house, at the listing appointment, when they're excited to get their home sold, that's when you say, we have a promise, and our promise is to deliver an amazing experience, and you're going to let us know if we don't. And how you're going to show us that we did is you'll think of somebody that we can help. Now, the problem is when you say that to people, and we even have it in our buyer and seller consultation book, so we show them and tell them that that's our goal. Now, if you say you're going to do it, you got to really do it. So then you've got accountability on yourself to really give a great experience. Because if you tell them, we're going to check in every week, see how you're doing, we may ask for feedback. We're going to want to hear how your experience is going. And then when we get to closing, we're going to make sure. Now, as a team, we've got people that are implementing this along the way. If you're solo agent, that people is you. You're the people, and you got to make sure that every week on your check-in, hey, just want to give you an update on your property. Once again, nothing's happening. No, just kidding. Not in this market, right? But in the old days when listings would sit, you'd say, nothing's going on. I just want to check in, make sure you're doing all right. Because what's the number one reason for clients to be unhappy? Lack of communication. Yeah. When they don't hear from you, they don't feel loved, they don't feel like they're important. And that's when they start creating stories in their head about all the reasons why you're a terrible real estate agent. Yeah, I've lived it. I've done it. I've been that terrible real estate agent because I was too afraid to call them to tell them nothing was going on. And then I realized instead, switching my thinking again to saying, this is my opportunity to be a hero and to help them and to have open, honest conversation, because maybe now it's time for an adjustment or whatever. So when you're sharing your promise with people, you have to follow up and follow through. And then after closing, I have a call. So I may not work with as many buyers and sellers anymore like I used to, but that I have a task that tells me, call the client and ask, how'd we do? So this could just be a reminder for you guys, day 3 after closing, whether you just put it on your calendar or you have a checklist or you have a database reminder. So my call goes like, hey, it's Jenny. Thank you so much for allowing us to help you with the sale of your home. Brittany said you were so awesome to work with, and what an honor that you chose us to help you. Thank you again. Something that I'm sure Brittany had mentioned to you is that we have a promise and we have a goal to deliver an amazing experience. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do we do? And I pause, and this is when I get nervous. And then, of course, they always say a 9 or a 10. And if it's a 9, I say, what could we do better? And if it's a 10, I say, oh, that's awesome. Would you mind when we hang up the phone if I shoot you over a text with a Google review link? Because we know that most buyers and sellers are going to start online and look at reviews. And so we want to help more families just like we got to help yours. And they always say, yes, of course. Guess what, though, guys? They never do. They never do. Now you have a new system you get to implement. The follow-up after the review link is sent, because you have to keep nudging them and reminding them because they're busy at work or they're moving or whatever it is. They got life going on. So we're really finding that the reviews come like 2 to 3 weeks after, once they've finally kind of settled and all that. So don't get discouraged when they don't respond. So I ask how the experience was, and then I share with them that, another part of our mission is to give back to the community. So what we love to do is donate to your favorite nonprofit. Do you have a local charity that you love that we can make a donation in your name? And they are usually taken aback by that. And they go, oh, well, how about the food bank? Okay, that's great. We'll make a donation. We are so grateful for you that we'd like to give on your behalf. And so that's really where we get to shine, is because we've gotten paid. The relationship, the transaction is over. And that's when I share that the relationship is not over. Check your email, keep an eye out, make sure you're following us on social sites, because we want to have more fun. Now you're a part of our world and you're here forever. And how we like to have fun, we have an upcoming virtual bingo event or whatever. So, you can see how many touches and ways that I got to share our mission inside that one conversation. So I'll give you the quick system on the giving back part. Was I created a nonprofit years ago called Keys to the City. I'll tell you, it's a great idea to have your own nonprofit, but it's a pain in the butt to go through and it costs money. So you don't have to create your own nonprofit. You can just make up a name you want to call one, or you can just give strategically to organizations that you love. So just FYI on that. And I think it cost around $3,000 to $5,000 for all of the paperwork. It required attorney, CPA, all this stuff. So I'm just giving you the truth on that. But still, the idea though is that every closing that we have, we share that we're going to donate back to our client's favorite nonprofit. The truth is, most of them don't get back to us. They really don't. So I just kind of earmark that money to know that we can put that in our kind of general fund, so that in our general fund for giving, whenever we have client events and we give back during our client events, we've got money available for donations. But we just give $100 per closing and send it along with a letter saying this is on behalf of Bob and Sally Smith. Here's their address, and written by and provided by the Wolek Group. And so we get letters back, thank you letters, and that way the client gets a letter too, right? So the client gets a letter from that nonprofit saying on your behalf from the Wolek Group, thank you for your donation. So now we're really showing up as this community giver. That's so much fun. So that's a lot of the stuff that I really wanted to share when it comes to our mindset and our mission, because you got to just know who you are, what you want your thing to be. If you love animals, maybe you get to decide that giving back to the local SPCA or animal aid is your thing. And whenever you know what your thing is, that motivates you to get your butt out of bed and make phone calls to find people to help buy or sell a house, because then when you close with them, you get to give back to your community. You also get to make money, which allows you to keep staying in business and doing it more and more at a higher level, at a bigger level. And then every year you get to grow your database and grow your clout when it comes to giving back and sharing. So I want to just pause for a minute on any of those ideas that I just shared. Does anyone have any questions or ideas or anything?
Well, I like the idea of giving in their name to whatever is their favorite charity organization. That does really mean a lot to me, because I worked in dialysis for so many years. And I even as you were saying it, I thought back to times that they couldn't even get their medications and transportation to dialysis. So yeah, that really resonated with me.
And when we feel it in our hearts and we get the goosies and we feel the passion, I mean, think how you're going to translate that. When at our listing and buyer presentations, we have a book where we share, here's how we're going to help you, here's all the stuff we do. And at the back, it says, and by you allowing us to do what we love, helping you buy a house or sell a house, that allows us to give back to the community. And we've got little pictures of the different organizations that have been donated to from past clients. And I mean, people really pause because they're not used to a real estate agent sharing that. And it's not a lot of money. I don't even say the amount. If they asked, I would tell them. I don't say the amount, but guess what? When you sell 100 houses times $100, that's the impact. So you get to say, we give back over $10,000 a year, even if it's $5,000, even if it's $1,000 to your community. How cool is that? Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else?
Can you tell me the script again for what you tell vendors of how you want to interview them?
Yeah, so I use a tool called Calendly. Have you guys heard of calendly.com?
Mhm.
So that's I first have the conversation honestly through text or Facebook Messenger. Usually it's a warm lead, like a friend of a friend, or if you saw them on Facebook. Did you guys have the COVID small business Facebook groups that came around early on? Did you guys see any of these? Well, check Facebook, and they were called Stand Up to COVID, Support Small Business. So I saw them in different cities, but so I actually even went to that Facebook group and said, "Hi, I like to promote and share local businesses. Let me know if you are interested." And I got 100 comments of people who wanted to be featured. But yeah, so the simple script is, and I don't say I'm a real estate agent. I just say, "Hey, I say we, because my team, we love supporting and promoting local businesses. Would you be interested in doing a 3 to 5 minute video with me through Zoom? And then I'll share it on my social media and with our network, because it's, I say it's a database with our network of people." And if you go to the Wallet group on YouTube, you can see all my different playlists. In that playlist, I think I've got about 50 business owners that have said yes just since, mid-March. And now I feel like I'm slacking, because early on I was doing them like 3 a week, and now I'm getting like 1 every other week. But it's just a great way, because now, if you guys notice, YouTube is a pretty popular place. So when you put videos on YouTube, it's going to get all that Google juice. People are going to search for it. So, just imagine what can happen over time too, when you're sharing local businesses and you're tagging them. And then the value is putting it on, it could be your business page. It could be any of your pages. It really doesn't matter. And then you tag them, and then they share it and they share it and they share it. So that's when it gets real fun, is that, my goal early on was, if I can get that restaurant one call-in order that somebody goes and picks up food, that's a win for me. That was my small goal early on. I just wanted to help them stay in business during these days.
Well, and Jennie, that's a good, in Bold, they talk about the business to business. This is a perfect way to do that and adapt it right now. And so easy.
100%. You guys remember, it was the Yellow Pages exercise in the old Bold. And so you would just go through if you know what a Yellow Pages is, so, go through and brainstorm all the different businesses that relate to real estate or don't. Right now, the one on my list is schools are going to be going back here soon. So could you be talking with school professionals, or could you be talking with counselors who support families and the struggles that we're going to be experiencing in these next days with virtual school again, or what life is going to be like? You just want to be a resource for people. And you don't have to be an expert on video to make these great. You're simply doing an interview, and you can, I do them side by side. If you guys have done Zoom a lot, you know that you can have it on speaker view or gallery view. I do these on gallery view where we're side by side, but if you wanted them to be featured, you just change it to speaker view. So when they're talking, it's their face the whole time. And then when you talk, it comes to your face. But the simple questions that I ask them, and it's the same I've asked for years, because I used to just do videos in person with them. I just ask them, tell us who you are and what you do. So they can say, what their name and their business is. And in the old days before this, I said, tell me who you are, what you do, any special services you offer, or things going on in your industry, and then how can people find you, whether it's on social media or location. And then I just kind of tweaked it a little bit and said, tell me who you are, what you do, and how you got into this business. And then how are you adjusting, and how have you adjusted? And then are you adding any way of giving back to the community. Because like a lot of even local businesses early on, they got real creative too and found ways to give back to the community. Like restaurants were giving away food to frontline workers. And, you know, so we want to be featuring how cool our community is in the giving spirit. Yeah. What else?
Anybody else?
Let's see if I have any more goodness on the list.
I love it. I think you're a awesome person to start our Think Bigger series off. I mean, guys, had any of you guys already come up with this and just been waiting to implement?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why are we not all doing this?
Yeah.
We all are very community-minded people. We're in a company that is all about giving back and come from contribution. And so this fits in perfectly with the type of business owners we want to be.
Well, and another idea that I've implemented is kind of a business owner mastermind. I haven't nailed this yet. I have the whole system. I have the idea, and I just haven't put all my focus and energy into it. Have you guys ever done that with an idea?
I don't have enough hands to hold up.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. But think about the tools that we have at Keller Williams. We've got the One Thing book, even the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It could apply to any sales professional, not just real estate. The 6 personal perspectives are super amazing. So we already have these tools. And if you go to KW Connect and click on courses, there's actually PowerPoints that already exist for you. You can use them. There's manuals. You could be giving mini training sessions in your community. I mean, I'll promise you this, if you sign up to teach a class on the 6 personal perspectives, you're going to learn them because you got to show up and do it. And people, every bit of the 6 personal perspectives are a part of our lives and our businesses as Keller Williams agents, and those apply to all humans. Work on self-mastery, know your 80-20, what are your big rocks?
Be based.
Yeah, removing your limiting beliefs, have learning based being a part of your foundation, and then one more. Anyway, so there.
We got lost.
Be accountable. Of course, I just taught this last Friday. Whatever. You guys will look it up and then tell
Moving
me.
from E to P.
There you go, which is my favorite. I forgot the E to P.
It's on the wall in front of me.
Yeah, but I mean, think about that. Like if you just said, you called it a lunch and learn, hey, and give yourself a couple weeks, 2 Fridays from now, from noon to 1, I'm gonna be doing a virtual training on time blocking or 6 personal perspectives. I mean, even at the market center level, just how can people plug in and learn, and you invite people that aren't just clients or aren't just other agents, but other business owners, because now you get to add them to your database and you get to grow your network. So
create for yourself and your business.
Yeah, I mean, as we've been doing the video promotion over probably the last 4 years, I can think back on people that I did a video with. Say this one, here's one example. A team member did some research and she was helping me build my list. So she found a cleaning service. And so it was Cleansing Rain. She did all the research to make sure she had good ratings on the whatever sites and stuff. So her name is Lacey. So she comes into my office and we shoot a little video. She tells her story about how she got into cleaning houses and how she loves it and how she does it so great. And so we send out her video. We add her to our network, our directory of vendor partners that we've shared her with when people need their houses cleaned. She's my personal housekeeper now. And she has personally sent us 2 pieces of business that I can think of. And then she just got married. So her and her husband allowed us to use her. So years ago, me doing a video with a young, sweet girl who has a small business all by herself, what's your average sales price? I mean, for us, say that's $5,000 in commission of pieces of business, that's 15 grand from 15 minutes of my life.
This is why creating a database and cultivating it is so important.
So important. It's everything. It's everything. Because there wasn't a way for me to forget about her because she went into our database. So she was getting touches and love from us over all these years. Yeah. Well, okay, here's the deal. I have a class if you guys are interested. I have one launching next week, or no, this Wednesday, but I got another one next Wednesday. It's called Mirror My Business. And it's just where I share all the different systems, tools, and models that we use in our business. If you're not interested in signing up for that, that's totally cool. But I do have a Facebook group that's just for real estate agents. So a lot of times agents will hit me up and say, hey, tell me this system, or what do you do for that? And I usually just point them to the Facebook group, because if you search it, you can probably find where I've already done a video on it or shared an idea. So I'll put it here in the chat box.
It's a fun group to be a part of too.
Thanks.
There's a lot of good ideas and tidbits.
Yeah, I mean, again, my goal is that you guys don't waste all the time that I wasted and that you get into action faster than I did. And now that I've got all these years of experience under my belt, I just want to make sure that you guys are thinking bigger and going for it and getting into action, because I've just found that anything in my life, once I think about it, it's usually going to happen. It's just how fast or slow does it take to happen. So if I want it to happen fast, I tell people about it. And I have a coach and accountability and tracking, and so that it does keep me in action. Now you can continue to have a small life. That's totally fine. And that's your call. It's up to you. The bigger you dream, the bigger your life will be. So that's what I have to say. Any other questions or thoughts or ideas?
Hey, Jenny.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I have a quick question. I was wondering if there's anybody on your team who's working in the military field. I work in the military. I'm a military veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anybody, do certain things for veterans, along the lines of, what you do back for the community?
Not specifically, no. I think that's a great idea. Have you guys heard of Homes for Heroes and those kind of programs? Yeah. I mean, I even looked into it, Gerald, as just a team of adding that kind of in, like creating your own Homes for Heroes type program, where if you're military or any, like, especially now with the frontline workers of people who have, really been risking their lives for the health of our community, I think that's a great plan. And that's your story. So how cool is it if you apply that to your business, like even offering listing discount fees or, giving back in some way? I think that's brilliant. That's where, when I was saying know who you are and know your strength, that'd be awesome. I mean, who better should be representing and giving back, when you are that, like you have given your service to our country. So I think that's who you share, and that's who you should attract. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. All right.
I love that. Jenny, thank you so much for joining us. And Mike Mulder said to say hello.
Hi, Mike.
He's actually going to be joining us this month too, talking about thinking bigger. So
he thinks really big. I met him years ago, so a long time ago. So part of my thinking big, guys, I'll share with you, is because I always have shown up for family reunion, for mega camp, for masterminds, and I got around people who thought bigger, and he's definitely one of them. So that's a trick for you whenever we open back up and we get to travel again someday. Make sure you attend every event that you can, because that's where you're going to meet the people who think way bigger than you, getting outside of your local bubble. So.
For sure. Well, thank you, Jenny, for joining us today. If we have any referrals for Tulsa, Oklahoma, we'll be getting with you.
I'll take them.
For
You
sure.
guys have a super day. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, Jenny. Hey guys, if y'all want to stay for just a few more minutes, I want to hear your thoughts now that our guest, I'll stop recording.